What will be analyzed in trying to figure out how strong they are? Things like attack power, attack potency, blast power, striking power, punching and kicking. Ways to analyze this: lifting feats, striking feats, harming beings with certain level of durability. Attack power. All it means, how hard can they blast? Example, can he punch a building down, punch an island in half? That is what is meant by attack potency. Collateral damage. In fiction, they seem to ignore things like collateral damage. That will not be used in account when it comes to ranking and scaling. Just because a character has never destroyed a planet does not mean he does not have that level of attack power. Superman has been shown to bust a planet. Shazam is confirmed over and over again to be equal to Superman in physical strength. Even though we have not seen Shazam bust a planet, it's likely easily to scale to say he can because of his fights with Superman and how he's consistently portrayed. Last but not least, lore. L-O-R-E, how the character is written. The writer intent of the character. An example of how lore can overpower everything. If a character that's three-dimensional has a multiversal feat, that cannot be used to scale him due to the writer intent lore. The writer intends for that character to be 3D unless specified otherwise.
In the world of comics, there are a lot of knockoff characters. Like Batgirl, Supergirl, for example, pretty much the main character but second. They have the name of the main character also similarly. Like how Batman is the main person, like he's the main guy, and then you have Batwoman, opposed knockoff. Not saying some of these characters are lesser because a lot of these characters are unique and still their own character and have their own vibe, their own identity. She-Hulk, for example, is one of those cases. Despite her being called She-Hulk, pretty much the second to the Hulk, she is also Hulk's cousin, have similar abilities to the Hulk, but she is actually a lot more interesting than a lot of people know, and she actually has her own identity, her own type of storytelling, and her own type of personality that makes her different from the Hulk in a lot of different ways. But how strong is She-Hulk, though? I will admit she's one of the tougher characters to scale, considering that she's powerhouse supposedly, but she's still technically below other powerhouses to some degree. She-Hulk is one of those characters where her power level has fluctuated throughout comics, starting off at a very low power level to being even slightly above Spider-Man level to growing exponentially above Spider-Man level via her working out and training. One of the things that makes me love her so much is her work ethic and the fact that she's one of those few powerhouses that actually work out to get stronger. I mean, just imagine if other powerhouses actually worked out to get stronger. Like, just imagine the potential characters like Luke Cage could possibly have if he actually took the time to work out to get stronger. He's officially ranked as a class 75, which is pretty much below powerhouses like Hulk and Thor, who are class 100. But where does she scale precisely? Well, let's take a look at some of her feats. Like I said earlier, her power has fluctuated and to the point where she has had moments in her career where she achieved amazing levels of power. There was a time where she supposedly arm wrestled Hercules in her Jupiter suit, but supposedly suppressing her actual true strength. She supposedly let Hercules win. But this is one of those controversial feats. Hercules is considered a class 100. I mean, if she can beat him in an actual real arm wrestle, wouldn't she be a class 100 also? So she could have been just being cocky here, or it could be legit. Who knows? Her power level at this moment was at her peak, and she doesn't seem to be at this level all the time. By the way, this video is covering Sensational She-Hulk era, not talking about the steroid buffed out, super powered up version of Hulk that we see now. Another feat in her prime, she was also able to fight the champion of the universe and actually curb stomp him. This is champion without the stone, by the way. Champion in the past has fought beings like Silver Surfer, so this is something that you should not overlook. Yeah, I don't think Champion actually beat Silver Surfer, but still. Her and the Thing were testing her strength, and she was actually able to lift the Thing's workout regimen with relative ease while she is wearing her Jupiter suit, which is suppressing her true strength. This is her at her absolute peak of Sensational She-Hulk days. Her and Sentry had a scuffle, and she was able to hold her own for a little bit. Obviously, the Sentry wasn't fighting her as hardest, but it's like I said, it's a scuffle. Being able to scuffle with Sentry is no easy feat. So yeah, this is cool for her considering her class raged out. She is able to rip apart Vision. This is probably one of her best feats also in her Sensational She-Hulk days. To fight it out with the likes of Iron Man, possibly her best feat even though she still got curb stomped, was able to draw blood from World War Hulk. Could possibly be an outlier because it doesn't really make sense for her to be able to draw blood from him. One of the many reasons why I don't use drawing blood feats to scale characters, because drawing blood feats get a little bit ambiguous. Even during her weaker days, she's able to split a truck in half pretty much while in a comic with Spider-Man. One of the things I respect about She-Hulk so much is that she actually trains for skills. She isn't just a powerhouse that just throws her fist around. She actually trains. And with her pressure point and martial arts skills, she was actually able to dismantle a character like the Abomination, a being that's supposedly stronger than her physically. But due to her skills and pressure point knowledge, she's able to use the little strength she does have, or what disadvantage she does have, is able to even the odds with her skills. Like I said before, I respect her so much for the simple fact she isn't just a beast in her She-Hulk state. In her normal state, she actually works out to get stronger or practices her fighting skills in her normal state. Even in her normal state, she's able to pretty much dismantle people with her just skills alone with no superhuman strength. And Captain America is proud. Like I said earlier, She-Hulk's power has fluctuated throughout the years. There was even a point where she was somewhat just a tad bit above Spider-Man in strength, but even then her durability was still far beyond what he can put out. Spider-Man even hurt his hand punching She-Hulk back in her weaker days before she even started lifting weights that much and before she made her ridiculous strength gains. She-Hulk is also able to slug it out with characters like Namor. Please note that Namor is a powerhouse as well, able to fight super crazy powerhouses while he is completely hydrated underwater, but she slugs it out with him on land here though. She's strong enough to effortlessly toss around big giant T-Rexes. This is during her weaker days also. She's pretty much able to fight the entire Wrecking Crew. All of these beings have super strength, but to what degree? She-Hulk has also battled characters like Miss Marvel, also known as Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel nowadays. Please note that Miss Marvel was able to do this to Grey Hulk. She-Hulk has also fought characters that are super powerful telepathy like Zemnu. Fortunately, she seemed to be no match for this being though. He's able to fight on par with the actual Hulk. She-Hulk is a very fun character and a lot different than a lot of people would expect or think. She is totally different from the Hulk. She actually works out to get stronger. She works out in her normal state so her She-Hulk state can get stronger. She actually is a lawyer similar to how Daredevil is to make actual legal money in her spare time. Let's also not forget she was also recruited to be a member of the Fantastic Four to replace Ben Grimm. She was supposed to replace the muscle of the group, so the fact that they thought she was a good replacement for Ben Grimm lets you know how strong they think she is. Yes, it's true, She-Hulk is no Hulk. That's exactly what makes her such an interesting character. But how strong is she? Like I said earlier, it can get hard to rank these characters, especially since all the power level fluctuations throughout the years and how strong She-Hulk has gotten over the years. As you can see, this seems to be pretty legit to nowadays. Iron Man being a lot stronger than a lot of people think in this list. This is the official Marvel ranking system from the old comics back in the day, by the way. See, below them is characters like the Thing, Namor, Doc Samson, Vision, and etc. During these days, She-Hulk was considered to be around this level, around Spider-Man level of strength, probably a little bit high. Back then, before she started working out to get stronger, this is a lot different than it is nowadays. Silver Surfer shouldn't even be here. So that's like a mistake. This is definitely not where she is now, though. But where does she scale? Nowadays, I would rank her in this list right here with these characters like Namor, still below characters like Hulk and Thor and them, still below them. Like I've said over and over again, it is kind of hard to scale She-Hulk, but at the same time, you have to give her respect where respect is due. I would say her attack power roughly scales to being small star level at least. Leagues below black hole level beings like Thor and the Hulk, but at the same time, she was able to lift with characters like the Thing, and the Thing has given the Hulk trouble consistently. You can even go on my page and look at all the fights between the Hulk and the Thing to see this proof. You can even see feats of the Thing fighting the Silver Surfer for a little bit, and the Silver Surfer even complimented the Thing. So for She-Hulk to be able to outlift the Thing in a weightlifting contest, that's pretty impressive. At her peak, she is consistently shown to be around the Miss Marvel level of power. With all due respect, she's not even close to the Hulk either, because there's a scan of her actually wailing on the Hulk and he just eats all her hits like it's nothing. Like I said, she's way below characters like Hulk and Thor, but still a powerhouse in her own right. She can even scuffle with big dog powerhouses when they aren't fighting her seriously. Durable enough to hurt hands of characters like Spider-Man, who can pretty much level buildings with his raw strength and lift up tanks. That's impressive. Speed, she has to be at least massively hypersonic combat speed-wise, only because she's stronger than Spider-Man, and she has to be at least that level. And the fact she's a Gamma member. She doesn't have any spoon-fed feats for her speed, though. This is pure scaling. It's not really no proof thing I can really give you all on that. Same with the attack power, it's more a scaling thing. It would be silly to just say she's building level just because we never seen her destroy no continent or nothing. That's when scaling comes involved. If we went by pure feats, I don't even think she would be island level, because I don't even think we've seen her lift the island or bust the island or things like that. I know there's a gap between She-Hulk and the Hulk, but I don't think the gap is that big to the point where she's like island level and the Hulk is like solar system level. I don't think the gap is that massive. It's still massive, but not that freaking massive. And I'm not even talking about the current She-Hulk. Everything She-Hulk aside, she's a really cool character and she has her own unique style. I can relate to her personally in some ways that I can't relate to the Hulk, due to the fact that I love to lift weights and I love to work out to train my body and get the best body I can to peak physical condition. She seems to do the same, and I think it's cool that she has an added transformation on top of it. I like the fact that she can actually get stronger in her base state, and it actually increases her Hulk form state. That's something unique and different than other powerhouses we have seen so far. She is such a good lawyer that the lawyer of all lawyers recruited her to do a case with him. That's right, the freaking Living Tribunal actually wanted to hang out with She-Hulk. Like one of the mightiest abstracts in the multiverse wanted to hang out with a three-dimensional being like She-Hulk. She's that good of a lawyer. There's even a comic where the Living Tribunal appears with her. You would think they're doing like some type of multiversal cosmic event, but it's just her being a lawyer. I know this has nothing to do with her power, but I just find this interesting that the Living Tribunal would even bother with She-Hulk. He's like literally one of the most powerful beings in the entire multiverse, not counting the one above all. I hope you guys enjoyed my rundown of She-Hulk. I hope I enlightened you on how strong she actually is. She's stronger than Spider-Man. She's stronger than characters like Luke Cage, but she's still weaker than characters like the Hulk and Thor by a large astronomical margin. But at the same time, just because you're weaker than Hulk and Thor doesn't mean you're a weakling. And just because you're a lot weaker than them doesn't automatically put you on Spider-Man level or below. There's still tiers below and between them two. She-Hulk is right in the middle. She's above Spider-Man by a lot, but she's below Hulk and him by a lot. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. You guys seem to love these type of videos, so I will keep them coming.